Right now you're hearing all your favorite music on your favorite station. But wait, there's more.
More songs from the artists you love on exclusive stations by Odyssey.
Just open the Odyssey app and click exclusive stations, then a genre to dive deeper into.
A station might be just music, or maybe hosted by Ed Sheeran, Chris Martin, or one of your favorite DJs.
Across alternative, pop,
country, soft rock,
Latin, R&B,
kids,
and even more.
Get more with exclusive stations by Odyssey.
Brought to you by Macy's, Geico, and Coke Zero Sugar.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your home is going into foreclosure and you feel like a financial wreck. You don't know where to turn for accurate information. I'm bankruptcy attorney Travis Gagne. Let's talk about some legal options. If we work quickly, we can propose a plan to save your home, modify the loan, or in many cases, even eliminate your second mortgage. The consultation is free. I've helped hundreds of people just like you make informed decisions about whether to save their home or exit it on a reasonable, organized timeline. The chapter you choose sets the tone for the next chapter of your life. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle. Well, it's another cold morning, and I know it's been a cold winter. I get that. But you know, there are some people that just feel like, you know what, man, colds, what's wrong with you? It's winter. Now, we don't have those people living here, but there is a woman like that in Brooklyn who was asked by a reporter on Sunday about more cold weather coming this week for the area in Brooklyn, and she just went off like, are you people kidding me? It's winter.
We getting mad because it's snowing, but it's winter outside. I mean, we are a bunch of weird people, okay? If it was summer and it was snowing, yes, it is winter. It's winter. Hello, it's winter. About 3-4 weeks ago, it was what? 3 degrees outside. It's a heat wave out here now. Hello, it's winter. Yes, I'm not surprised. I love it. It's winter. Let's work with it. 3 degrees 3 weeks ago. How soon we forget.
Can they just have her be the weather person?
Yeah, I think that's all you really need.
Weather Channel should just hire her.
She's got that New York charm, doesn't she?
Yes.
Yeah, she does.
Where R's do not exist, everything ends with the letter A.
Yeah.
It's winter.
It's winter. What's wrong with you people? That is so awesome. I think she's, you know what? She's my new mom. I want her to be my mom.
It's a heat wave because it's not 3 degrees anymore. Man, I do not miss those kind of winters.
No, I don't.
Winters.
No, I'm
winter.
with you, dude. Yeah, I don't miss those winters either, man.
None.
Oh.
No.
Oh, no.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, as much as I will complain about how February was more snowy than I want around here, all it did was really just bring back the emotional trauma of all the winters I spent.
That's right.
Really what it was. It wasn't that bad.
Those times that Frosty did mean things to you.
Yeah, it was consensual, I have to be honest.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I can't blame Frosty.
Those branch arms.
Yeah, he just melted away. He left. You know, he basically dined and dashed, if you know what I mean.
He ghosted you.
Yeah,
He did.
He did.
And it was winter.
It was winter. 3 degrees, Frosty.
Frosty the Ghoster.
Frosty the Ghoster.
Oh, gosh, why did I do that?
Blanked me, then he left. Ghosted. I'll let you guys fill in the blank.
My wife was on the appy thing on our phone.
Hey, my wife was on the appy thing.
Yeah, she's like, hey, it's winter.
It's winter.
And she saw more snowflakes showing up at the end of the week.
Don't worry about it.
Come on.
Don't worry about it.
Come on.
It's going to be a light dusting. I was watching Cairo 7 last night. They got a little...
Yeah, of course you're not worried about it. You're going to Vegas.
That's true. Winter.
Here I am in winter.
It's going to be 70 where I am.
Oh, shut the F up.
What's the problem? Might rain, though. So I have to bring a rain jacket or something.
I hope all your cardboard gets all soggy.
Ooh, hey, wow.
Sick burn.
That actually would be really sad if that happened, because then all the game boards would be warped. It wouldn't be good.
I'd imagine you guys would be playing indoors.
Yeah, I think we are. Though Vegas is a lovely place, I think we're still going to do indoor gaming.
I was just over there, and it was actually really breezy, so you don't want your game pieces down there. It'll just they'll just go everywhere.
Can you guys help me? Because
can we help you? No, Steve.
I tried to explain why we were taking some time off to my wife. She's like, what is going on? I'm like, BJ and Vicky and some other Geek Nation guys are all going to Vegas.
Yes.
She's like, well, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know. I think they're going to just play board games with each other.
It's a board game convention.
It's a board game convention.
Yeah, put on by a group of people known as Dice Tower, who are pretty much the leading edge with board game reviews on YouTube.
I know that, of course.
Yeah, They are the Cadillac of board game reviews in the industry, and they've got an incredible network, including some great people here in Seattle. Shout out to Suzanne, who represents Dice Tower out here, along with other people too.
So is Andrew Dice Clay a part of all this?
Hey,
he should be. He needed the money. It's winter.
It's winter. Yeah.
So is this a big convention or?
All right, what this is I think it's a big convention. They're taking over a hotel in Las Vegas.
Okay.
And they're going to have one of the ballrooms all set up. But here's what it is. It really is, there's going to be panels, but lots of time to play board games. There will be people selling their stuff there as well. But if you're a board game enthusiast, they do one on the East Coast every July 4th. This is the first time they're doing one on the West Coast. They took over another con, and so it's now bi-coastal as far as what they're doing.
Oh, it is 2019.
It is 2019, yes.
Glad that they could get to that point.
We're getting very bi-coastal. Yeah, so, it's if you imagine people who love quilting or people who love any hobby.
Oh, you really sold me on it now.
Yeah, there you go.
This is the type of place where people who love quilting go.
Well, dude, just like, scrapbooking, whatever your hobby is, you just have no idea how deep people can go to it, to the point where they will have conventions. And you go, really? There's a convention for this?
I always did. It's like Reddit. There's a Reddit thread for everything. I think there's a convention for everything.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Now, we're spoiled here in the Pacific Northwest because there's always a geeky, board gamey, something or other convention somewhere around our area. The rest of the country can't believe just how geeky we are and how many of these conventions we have. For most people, though, Steve, something like Dice Tower West, or Dice Tower Convention on the East Coast is the only place they can go. Or PAX Unplugged, like Penny Arcade folks will do a special board game con when we did that in Philadelphia back in November. So hopefully that helps.
Nah. Okay, well, you lost me at quilting.
Yeah, sorry, buddy. Sorry about that.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Is there like a big prize? Can you win?
Oh, that's a really good question. I have no idea if it's competitive, like to win prizes or like that. There may be raffles. I don't know.
Yeah, the part that you lost me on is there's panels. Like, I got to go to a convention where you're going to play a bunch of board games, but I don't know if I want to listen to people talk about board games.
Well, is there anything in life that you'd listen to? Like, there are wrestling panels, right? Usually
I wouldn't attend those.
Oh, you wouldn't attend those?
No.
See, a lot of people would.
No, and they do. Like, there's WrestleCons, and whenever I go to WrestleMania weekend, I never buy tickets to go to watch somebody talk about stuff.
I can't argue with you because, I'd
rather be at the bar. I
think there's some people that want to go to the panels probably, and I'm like, look, I get why they're interesting, but I'm like you. I'd rather just play than watch. But I know that there are people that are different than you and I when it comes to these kind of things.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
I'd rather just post up at the bar, and there's a good chance there's some drunk retired wrestler that I could just listen to tell stories there.
Oh,
which would be a lot more fun than listening to them talk at a table.
You think if I go to a bar, Vicky, there'll be a drunk retired board gamer somewhere I can listen to stories?
I think you're the
Monopoly guy.
Yeah, you.
Me, you're right. I am the drunk retired board gamer. You're right, because I am the drunk guy that people listen to at the radio convention because I just post up at the bar.
Apparently, there's going to be raffles, so you can play 60 different games, and you'll automatically enter to win those games you played. And they do have tournaments going on as well.
Oh, tournaments! That's where we are. Let's go, BJ.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You need to win a tournament.
Wow. Yeah, my tournament days are behind me, buddy. I used to tournament a lot back in the back in the past decades.
Come on, bring out the BJ that pisses people off.
Oh, that happens anyway, whether I'm in a tournament or not.
High stakes.
You never know. I'll check it out and see what's up. We don't know what to expect.
There's a flea market.
Oh, is it really?
Yay, shopping!
Oh, Vicky's happy.
Oh boy,
yeah. Vicky's happy.
Oh, you've lost Vicky.
Yeah. Well, she might be able to find me a deal in those. She might be able to find me some good deals.
Maybe.
Yeah. I did bring an extra bag rolled up just to bring all my extra board games I might buy home. And I did.
Awesome.
And I did bring some board games with me. It was sad trying to pack because I couldn't bring everything I wanted to play, and I'm sad about it.
I'm sure you can buy them there.
Well, plus they have an extensive library where they'll let you play games. Like they'll let you rent them, or not rent them, but just borrow them to play.
Nice.
That's which is kind of nice when you think about it. You can go there and not bring a thing and still be able to play. Hey, not bring a thing, just to play.
It's winter.
Yeah, it's winter. All right, I have a question. Has nothing to do with where I'm going, what we're doing. What I want to know is why were cops called on a guy dressed as a panda? Panda, panda, panda. Steve's going to tell you why. He's got the Miggs report for you at 6:17 on The Rock.
BJ and Miggs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle.
If
you're hearing an informative newscast right now, well, then you must not be listening to BJ and Migs. Nope. Live from the KISW News Center in downtown Seattle, this is the Migs Report.
Thank you. Well, thanks, you guys. Thanks to Snoqualmie Casino for giving us the Migs Report. And it's a very special day for all you drinkers out there. It's Happy National Cinco de Marcho.
Cinco de Marcho?
Apparently, they say you have a month now to start training your liver for Cinco de Mayo.
Well, that's 2 months.
That's 2 months.
Yeah. Are you sure they're not already just drunko?
Well, next month is Cinco de April. Oh, my bad. I get them confused.
Okay.
And today's Fat Tuesday, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mardi Gras today, buddy.
So it's a perfect day to drink.
Get the beads out, boys.
All right. Well, you're going to finally show off those extraordinarily large nipples?
Yes, I think I will. It's also, speaking of drinking, it's National Absinthe Day.
Oh, no.
And I bring it up because a texter said, or a Facebook messenger said, hey, it's National Absinthe Day. Can you guys please replay that time that you interviewed Glenn Morshower? That was the time where we got wasted on absinthe and tried to do an interview. D. Ted Smith was here. Chad Eaton, formerly of the Seahawks, was also drunk on absinthe. It was a mess.
It was a mess.
So tune in this morning at 8:17. You'll get to hear that interview.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
That's a classic.
Celebrate National Absinthe Day.
That was a mess. Now listen to it.
Yeah. It was a classic.
No, I wasn't, but you guys were destroyed.
Yeah. We should do that again.
Yes. I think it's a great idea.
When are we doing it? Today?
Well, we got to get the blue fairy, the green fairy?
It was the green fairy.
We got to get that.
Does that stuff even exist?
That's a good question. I don't even know how we got it in the first place. A listener,
some dude that owned the company came from Czechoslovakia.
Oh.
And he would bring bottles of it.
Let's see if he'll come back.
Back then, you could only get it by ordering it online. You couldn't get it in the States. And still, the kind in the States is way different than the kind that we were drinking.
Yeah.
It was the next level.
Yeah, they don't use wormwood in the States.
I miss wormwood.
Yeah, you do.
Well, let's talk about this woman in Wisconsin. Her name is Molly, and she was at work last month. So she asked one of her neighbors, hey, can you let my dogs out? So now we know who let the dogs out.
Oh, Molly's friend.
It was a panda.
All right. Panda. Oh, what?
This guy decided, it'd be funny. I'll put on my panda costume, and I'll let her dogs out that way. That way, when she looks at the surveillance footage or the security videos, she'll get a good chuckle out of seeing a giant panda walking to her house, letting the dogs out.
Okay.
Here's the problem. Not all the neighbors knew that this guy was going to do that. So one of her neighbors saw a giant panda opening up her gate, thought something weird was going on, so he called the cops.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And here's the 911 call.
Whiskey, go 911. And do you have a description of the person?
It's a big teddy bear.
It's a big what? I'm sorry?
Teddy bear. Honestly, God.
Somebody dressed as a teddy bear?
Yep.
Okay, we do have officers that are going to be in the area in just a moment.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Well, first off, it's a panda bear, not a teddy bear.
Come on. It looks just like a panda bear. What are you talking about?
If you're going to call the cops, make sure you get your facts right.
Yeah, come on, pal.
We don't need a teddy bear getting arrested when it was actually a panda bear.
Yeah, you know what? That's profiling. That's just what that is.
Here's the thing. About 5 or 6 cop cars pulled up to handle this situation.
5 or 6?
Clearly, things weren't very busy in Wisconsin when this went down. So a bunch of cops show up. They talk to the guy. Turns out the guy's not doing anything wrong. He's just dressed as a panda bear. He says that he likes to wear this panda costume because he bought it for $125 and he wants to put it to use. So apparently he'll pick up his daughter from school in it. He'll open up gates so dogs can get out in it.
This guy seems like a genius.
And nobody knows his name because he did an interview with the news and he kept the panda outfit on.
Of course he did.
Nice. So here he is talking to the news agent.
I knew that my neighbors had a security camera set up, and I thought, well, I'm going to make the ordinary extraordinary. I'm going to dress up in the panda outfit. So just as I was about to pivot up and walk up my lawn, I turn around and I see at least 3 squad cars with a 4th and a 5th coming. I paid about $125 for this costume. I'm going to get my money's worth.
I'm going to make the ordinary extraordinary.
And he did.
Yeah, this guy, I think, needs to really look up the word extraordinary.
That was extraordinary. A giant panda letting the dogs out.
Yeah.
All right. I guess we find things extraordinary differently.
Yes, we do.
You know what's not cool? Is somebody stealing from the Girl Scouts. And this happened at the QFC by Northgate. Some dude showed up, bought some Girl Scout cookies.
Okay.
And then he brought them back and returned them, which is weird. But apparently they think he was casing the situation and to see what's going on over there because he came back later at the end of their shift of selling Girl Scout cookies and stole a bunch of money, about $600.
Oh, come on.
You piece of crap. Don't steal from the Girl Scouts. workouts.
That is a lot of money to have at a Girl Scout stand. They've got to have an adult come pick up a lot of that.
And oddly enough, he purchased a bunch of those cookies, not one of them being Samoas, because he agreed that Samoas suck. Criminal or not, Samoas suck.
Well, criminals like you, Steve,
Nothing
think
to do with
wrongly.
the story, actually. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, man, bummer news, you guys. We all thought that the romance would continue, that maybe they hit some hard times, but turned it back around.
Yeah.
Seattle's greatest couple is done once again.
What?
Who do you think I'm talking about?
The only I think about is Russell and Ciara.
No, not even close.
They're not
the longest standing one.
I think Rev knows what's up, Vicky. Danny might not know.
I do because we've talked about it before. Mary Kay Letourneau.
Yes, Danny. See, even the New Mexican knows.
Oh, wow, I forgot about them. Even the New Mexican. He's actually a middle-aged. He's a middle-aged Mexican. He's been. Actually, he is a New Mexican. The DNA just told him he was.
He's wearing his New Mexico shirt.
Yeah.
I am.
So what's going on there?
They're done again.
They're done again.
They're done.
No.
Done.
Oh,
it's over. They tried to reconcile. It did not work out. And I guess their legal separation has been officially transferred to an arbitrator.
That's so surprising. I can't believe that couple didn't last.
They lasted pretty long, dude. They got together when, what was she, 34? He was 12.
Yeah.
She's now 57, and he's 35.
See, he's old enough to go, I don't need to be with Wrinkly McGee anymore.
Yeah.
That's what you always got to worry about. When
Wrinkly McGee.
When you go that young, I'm sorry, but at some point they're going to go, Granny, I can't be with you no more.
Well, good luck to him and her.
Did you hear? He was interviewed in the news, and they asked him what he's going to do next. And here's what Billy had to say.
Probably going to have wild sex.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Seahawks, they just used their franchise tag. The first time they've used a franchise tag since 2010. How crazy is that?
That's when they tagged you, and I was very surprised with that choice.
Well, oddly enough, they tagged kicker Olinda Mare, which is equally as stupid.
Yeah.
Back in those days, that guy. Oh, anyways, they used it for Frank Clark to keep him around.
What's he ever done?
Oh, he was about to hit the free agent market and make a lot of money and probably leave the team. So now he's going to get about $17 million for the 2019 season if the sides do not come to an agreement before July 15th. So they got him locked in, so he can't go to free agency, but they're still trying to work out a deal. So
I feel like he's going to get paid.
I think so as well.
Yeah,
and hopefully with the Seahawks because he did great last season.
Well, we need him. Yeah, we need him, no doubt about it.
Bummer news. I got a bunch of people texting about it. Hey, Migs, did you hear about the passing of King Kong Bundy?
Yeah.
Man, you hear these stories about deaths coming in threes. Yesterday we talked about Luke Perry passing, Keith Flint from The Prodigy passing, and then word came out that former wrestler King Kong Bundy, a lot of people remember from the 80s because he was like the big nemesis to Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Man, oh man. And he even had a pop culture status because he was appearing in Married with Children back in those days.
That's right.
The big dude with the 5 count sadly died at the age of 61. As far as weather, 48 degrees and sun, and thank you 4 Wheel Parts for giving us news and sports.
That's a tough one, man. I know that wrestling is really figuring it out from a health perspective, but a lot of these guys are dying young.
And that's sad that, like, when you see that, you're like, wow, he lived a lot longer than some of his contemporaries, which is nuts, because 61 is way too young to be going.
But you're right. That is still a lot longer than some of his contemporaries, but I know that a lot of sports and wrestling, they are figuring it out and wanting to make sure that people are healthier.
Yeah, they're not popping pills and living unhealthy and doing awful stuff to themselves in order just to cope with the pain. People are a lot smarter these days. And sadly, man, there are times where these guys pass, and I was like, I didn't know he was still alive. And it wasn't like as disrespectful. You just, in this weird way, you assume that any old school wrestlers that were unhealthy, and he was a big guy, you think that these guys are no longer with us.
I hadn't heard much about him.
No.
So, I didn't know he was still alive either. So,
and I know he was supposed to appear, we talked about cons, you go into a convention for board gaming. He was going to be at the big wrestling convention, WrestleCon, WrestleMania weekend in New York.
Oh, that's
next month, and unfortunately, of course, that's not happening for him. This is a bummer.
Yeah, you're right, dude. I mean, geez, yesterday was just a tough day with Luke Perry, like you said, the front man for
Keith Flint.
Yeah, thank you, man, and of course, King Kong Bundy. It's just like, damn,
I hated King Kong Bundy as a kid. He scared me because he was Hulk Hogan's nemesis.
He was terrifying.
He was, but then you look back on it, he was just like a lovable, chubby guy.
Right.
He wasn't as scary looking as you thought when you were a kid.
That's the beautiful thing about being a kid and then going back and looking at pictures as an adult. You're like, I can't believe I was scared by that.
Yeah.
But that's just the naivety of a child. You know, I mean, you haven't been around in the planet long enough, so somebody tells you something scary and they behave in a scary way, hey, where you're at in life, you're going, this is a scary dude.
Yeah, I remember being scared of a hairy, bald guy that had a green tongue and 8 turnbuckles, George the Animal Steel.
Oh, yeah.
I loved him. He was so awesome.
But he was scary.
Yeah, he was freaky.
Really? Before he started to hang out with Miss Elizabeth.
Okay, I don't know. I always thought he was pretty cool.
The tongue was like what the hell? Because we hadn't seen a whole lot of weird stuff, and so that was just like, what is that about?
I wondered, do you think he just used just sucked on a green lollipop until he had a green tongue?
It's a good question.
Probably.
I never bothered to figure out exactly how did George the Animal Steel get his green tongue.
I feel like there was probably dye involved, and I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't the healthiest kind of dye, because we didn't have a lot of great standards when it came to dyes back then.
He actually ate green Clorette's breath mints.
Oh, how funny.
That's what in order to get that. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Straight from Wikipedia.
Oh, so it's true.
Yep.
I can't imagine those things are super healthy. You have to eat them in the quantity he did to get that tongue that green. Wow. Damn, dude.
He was a professor on the side.
Like he was a real smart guy?
Yeah, he was a teacher.
I had no idea.
Uh-huh.
Jeez. Imagine that's your professor.
George the Animal Steel.
Jeez, that's so weird. Wow, that is really weird. Yesterday, Steve, he was able to figure this one out.
Which South American country takes its name from Christopher Columbus?
Colombia.
Yes. I like that, man. You figured it out.
Took you a second.
Took you longer than it should have, but good for you, buddy.
I'm being shamed for thinking.
No, I'm going to leave that alone. 206-421-ROCK. We're playing Beat Miggs at 647 on The Rock.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. He's here right now and has agreed to answer more of your questions about bankruptcy. What's the difference between filing for bankruptcy and credit counseling?
Credit counseling is a useful process in some circumstances, but it does show up on your credit. In fact, from a credit scoring standpoint, credit counseling shows up just like a bankruptcy, so it's going to affect your credit as negatively as filing bankruptcy. In credit counseling, the idea is that a credit counselor works with your creditors on your behalf to try to lower interest rates or work out payment plans with your creditors to pay back your debt over time. In credit counseling, you almost always pay back 100% of the debt, sometimes at lower interest. And of course, some creditors will participate in that process and some won't. So you're usually left with kind of a mixed result with credit counseling and, of course, a high payment.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at ChooseTheRightChapter.com. That's ChooseTheRightChapter.com. Thanks for listening.
I'm Erin Ryan, political commentator, comedy writer, and host of Crooked Media's Hysteria.
And I'm co-host Alyssa Mastromonaco, former White House Deputy Chief of Staff for President Obama.
Each week on Hysteria, we are joined by a team of hilariously opinionated ladies to discuss the headlines from the serious to the absurd.
We cover everything from reproductive rights to rom-coms and break down the political news of the week and cultural stories that affect women's lives.
New episodes of Hysteria drop every Thursday. Listen on Odyssey, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.